Hi everyone, this is Cindy, and I want to revisit an idea I had in the past. I made these woven pockets out of book page, and then sometimes I use paper to weave through there. Sometimes I've used lace, sometimes I've used ribbon, and this time I'm doing a different kind of ribbon. It's that real stiff, silky ribbon, you know, that they make bows out of for packages. This was just in a package of stuff I got at the thrift store, so you know how they put stuff in a bag. So I thought, what can I use this stuff for? Then I thought, you know, it'd be perfect for weaving through those book pages to make pockets. So here's some I've already done. And I always use Reader's Digest condensed book because it's about the right size. You know, you can trim up this one edge and you'll see some maybe where I think I trimmed them all up. But when you rip it out of the page, it kind of, you know, it's torn. So if you straighten it up, it's going to be a little less than I think 5 inches. So anyway, the trick this time is, I would weave the whole page, then cut it in two, and then maybe I can glue it on something else, but I used the same book page to back it. So these two I did and rounded the corner. This one, I put some rickrack on the rounded corner. This one was my first one I did, and I got it really close to the top. So I couldn't round the corners, but I had the space down there, put some rickrack on. So it's just, you know, however you make it your own. And if you do use a different book page, you're going to have a little bit different dimensions. Like here I wove 4 ribbons through. 2, 3, no, that's 5. I did 5 to start with. Okay. And then when I changed the way I was doing it, it was 4. And then I worked it one time to do 5 again, but it puts you really close to the edge and you can't round your corners. So you don't have really any place to put lace or stuff. So I like it better with the 4. So that's how I'm going to show you to do it. And of course, your book pages, if you're not using Reader's Digest condensed book, it will be different. So here's hoping this glue stick is better than the last one I opened. The last one I opened, it was like it had been in the store for 3 years or something. Okay, so I'm just gluing 2 pages together, and I always do it in the book before I tear them out. That way they're lined up. And I don't care that the edges aren't done. It's just to keep them in place. Okay, now I'm going to fold it in half. And then I'm going to decide, fold it this way. This will be in my pocket front, so my word's going the right way. Okay, so I fold it in half so I know where my fold's at. And if I get it wrong, I mean, you know, it doesn't have to be precise right at the second, but pretty close. So anyway, now I'm going to take it and fold again, and I'm going to try not to crease it, but if I do, it doesn't really matter that much. And I'm going to make cuts, and I'm only going to come down about 1/2 inch. So you could go further up and get the 5 lines, you know, of ribbon, but I'm just going to do 4. So, and I also discovered that if you do an even number of cuts, it's 2, 3, and don't make them straight, of course, 4, 5, 6. If you do an even number of cuts, then the beginning of your weave and the ending of it on a line, let me just show you, are on the same side of this book page. So let's do one of these. So like I start on top, and then when I get to the end here, it's going to end on top. That doesn't matter. If you do less, that's fine. The reason I might do more is because, I mean, okay, if I did an odd number of cuts, it just means that this would be on the back. And then when I go to glue, I have to flip it over and flip it over. This way, I just do glue here. And I glue it as I go because this stuff is pretty slippery and I don't have to fight it. And here. Now, if I had done an odd number of cuts, when I glue this one, I'd have to flip it over to glue this one. I don't know if that makes any sense or not, but it doesn't really matter. It's just something I discovered. It's a little easier for me, and it doesn't affect the look in the long run because you can't tell it. Okay, so now we do the opposite, of course, when you're weaving. And I think I used to do like 1 book page, and yeah, so I don't know, decided 2 glued together is better to work with, especially if you want a thicker pocket, because you'll have 4 layers, all 5 if you count the ribbon by the time you're done. One thing about this using book page is you can kind of keep it straight by the lines, so if that matters to you. Okay. And on this one, I have quite a bit of a margin on the bottom so I can put lace or ribbon or something down there when it was finished. And we're on top, so we glue. And over here. So now if you're doing this, and see, I'm starting closer to the, mine's closer to the top than the bottom. But if you needed, like one of your slits wasn't big enough, then it's really easy just to slip your scissors in and cut a little bit further. So that shouldn't be a problem. And towards the end, I didn't cut it off, did I? Oh well, we'll weave it through. Sometimes when it's tight, oops, did I split that? I did. Let's just start over with that, and we'll cut it. You might have to just do it one at a time. Go in and out and out. Okay. One more, we're done. Okay, now let's glue that down. Okay, next thing I do is trim these off. Now you could trim them off as you go and make them shorter here. It will show though. Yeah, you would have to make sure it was the back side you trimmed it off on. So to me, it's just easier just to wait and do it all at once. And here's the edge that's not smooth. It's the torn edge. So I will probably straighten that up later. All right, last thing to do is just put lots of glue on the backing here, or it could be on the other end side of the backing. It could be on this side or this side. And just fold it in half, and that way you cover up your workings on the back side, so when you put a tag in, it won't snag on some of those woven things. And see here, I would just trim that up. You could put on a cutter, of course, but so anyway, there's the woven pocket. I have room at the top to do my corners, so let's get my little thing out around the corners. And then, of course, you can ink it and decorate it however you want. Put some sort of embellishment on there. It'd be really fun. So anyway, that's my new tips for making these. And I probably can get one more done, maybe two. I'm using all this up. I'm not going to store it. So I have a ton of woven pockets to get me through the next several years. So anyway, thanks for watching, and I hope you learned something. And I'll see you guys later. Bye.